With consumer confidence slowly inching up, we look at the impact on retail stocks and opportunities for investors. My guest is Adrienne Tennant. She's a managing director and senior analyst at Janney Montgomery Scott, and she has a proven track record on retail with a focus on specialty apparel. Adrienne, thanks for joining us. It's good to talk to you.
Hi, Julie. Hi, Jay.
So I know this morning you were out with a report. You're watching inventory very closely. I know you always watch inventory very closely, but tell us a little bit about what you found in the latest report.
So we've been tracking this since the second quarter of last year, and we do a quarterly report. There's two key metrics that we look at. One is the inventory growth rate relative to the sales growth rate of a retailer, and that usually tells you whether they're selling through at a good pace that will generate healthy margins. The second one we look at is something called GMROI, gross margin return on investment, or gross margin return on inventory investment, I should say. And what that really does is it tells you for every dollar invested in inventory, what is the company actually flowing to the bottom line or flowing profitably. So those are very, very important to us. What the report actually says is across the 15 companies in our softline universe, the companies have been sitting at this C+ rating, and we quartile them, so that means they're in the third quartile. What we know for a fact is that the holiday season was very, very promotional. Many retailers, including the Gap, actually proactively wanted to build up their inventory so that they could promote and drive sales, and they did that. But if you looked at the health of the earnings and the margins throughout the fourth quarter, most of the retailers that pursued that strategy actually had a hit to their merchandise margin. What we expect going forward is a lot of these retailers to clean up their act, clean up their inventory. Certainly as we head into the fall season, the back half of 2011, we want to see inventory units down. Dollars will probably be flattish or up, but that'll help them drive better merchandise margin to help drive a healthy profitability.
Well, it's funny, as Steve Sadoff said on an earlier segment, speed, innovation, how fast you can get to market, how fast you can turn your inventory, just keeps the traffic flowing. Traffic is the #1 metric we look at. We want to make sure that there are consumers coming in and we're getting them with the right product at the right time. So I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying, that they're going to move faster, they're going to launch things on a quicker basis and turn faster. They have to keep this consumer excited and keep them coming back.
Adrienne, right. I actually want to get to one of the retailers that you look at and that you analyze, and that's Abercrombie and Fitch, because I think you guys might differ a little bit on this one. It's actually your top pick. Is it in part an inventory story here? Are they managing that process particularly well?
So there are times when we stray from the inventory. They actually built up the inventory in the back half of last year tremendously, to the point where there was a 20-point spread between their inventory growth and their sales. And they had done this very proactively. The company had actually been losing market shares for years year on year, and they had been refusing to mark down and promote during the time period when everybody was promoting. And so in order to gain back that market share very quickly, what they did is they pursued what we call a bought comp strategy, meaning that you promote in order to drive the sales, but you're giving up margin. And they did that for about a year. At the end of the fourth quarter, they finally got their inventory in line with their sales. We expect the inventory growth to be actually flat at the end of the next quarter. And as we go to the back half of the year, we should see them really clean up their inventory. The story that we like is really about international. So as we go into this cost inflationary environment where people want to pass through the cost to their customers, we expect those retailers who have a very strong brand, those retailers who are going to be getting sales from international to help offset, and then those retailers who have a very high IMU.
Adrienne, I just want to ask you to pause for 1 second, because we don't have much time left, and I got to get Jay to talk about Abercrombie as well. I have the greatest respect
for Mike Jeffries as a brand builder, but I think he did build up inventory for Christmas. He started promoting more than he's ever promoted. So I think that there was a buildup. He missed a couple of trends going on, and I think he had to scramble quick and promote. I'm not so sure that he's not in the same situation going forward.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Adrienne.